I know I said go on forever, but it's a game that really strikes me in particular because the things that it does right, it does really well, and I have not seen any other RPG pick up. You are not what I wanted to fight, good sir. Hypothetically, you could farm star power and all that off these. Don't know how much I really want to do that with Bo in the picture. So where do I even start with Golden Sun? Wow. Actually feeling the pressure now I'm actually on the spot about it. On the basics, it's an RPG that kind of borrows elements from... It has a class customization system that I find real hard to compare to other games, but that might just be I may not just be exposed to enough RPGs to do so. But like Overworld is where it gets really interesting because it like borrows some elements from Pokemon. And one, you collect little creatures, but more importantly, like the puzzle elements tie to... There's a lot of Pokemon parallels in the puzzle elements because you take the abilities that you use in battle and use them to solve puzzles on the overworld. I like to consider it HMs done right, where like you're more classic RPG, so you don't have to worry about a fixed amount of move slots. But you can still use your abilities to solve puzzles as you gain them. And that's okay. Like I said, like it's not a game you really see released or talked about too often these days. Like the last entry of Golden Sun came out on the Nintendo DS. So it's almost like 10 years the last time there was a Golden Sun game. So I don't blame people at all for not knowing what it is. I just wish that I could do a little better job actually explaining what it is. Especially because I freaking made my own mod of it and talk about it all the time. So I'm gonna just blame the fact that these battles are starting to get a little tough on why I'm not able to really do it all of a sudden. I'll start from scratch and see if I can do it one more time. Like, it's kind of like a good... It was an early game for the GBA that kind of acts... It's kind of like an in-between your very classical RPG and the RPG style of a Pokemon game, where it's like... It's fairly... It has a lot of easy-to-learn, hard-to-master things. Yeah, this is... Maybe I'll get back to that in a little bit. It's a little... This is a bit hairy of a battle, though, and you can kind of see things getting a little rough if I don't focus a little more. Alright. Tempted to just Starstorm and end this before it gets any more ugly. You know what? I'll do that. Yeah, definitely worth looking into. It's got a few age mechanics, and like, it was a GBA RPG. It's gorgeous looking for a GBA game. That's kind of why I emphasize the fact that it's an early game launch title, because like looking at screenshots, you may not even think right away that it's a Game Boy Advance game. You might, because cool stuff has been done on the Game Boy Advance, but it looks like a really high... It looks like a... No. Let me see what the mover will do for me first and foremost. One more time. It's kind of like your classical RPG. You begin the quest where just... If you're familiar with your fantasy RPG, you'll kind of know what synergy is. It's the thing that everyone has, and... You know, I gotta run and actually prepare myself for this proper. Recently played a Fire Red mod where all the Pokemon were randomized and had Pokemon from Gen 1 to Sword and Shield. Yeah, I've heard a few things like that. You'd think I'd be more into Pokemon mods with how much I talk, with the history I had with Pokemon Go and the talks I've had with mods in general, but like with them, I've just been so busy with the mods to games that are very specific to me that I haven't really had the opportunity to look too into Pokemon stuff. Like the last thing I did Pokemon wise was a randomizer of Coliseum. I got for that, and I was gonna stream the post game, but I'm kind of just at a point where like, post game kind of drags that point. I'm probably be better for everyone involved if I do it off screen. And so that's where that's gone. Can I use items from this screen? No, because I kind of like to heal up. I feel like I'm in trouble if I'm already using items though. There is a very specific Pokemon mod that I really wanted to get into, but I definitely never gotten them. I've just never had the opportunity to do so. I was waiting until I finished the Coliseum randomizer in particular to do, because it is a mod tied to the sequel of Pokemon Coliseum. But there's way more to it than just being a randomizer. At least I can dizzy the guys if I go for this. No. It's kind of a funny thing. I don't think I've ever owned a Microsoft console. Like, 99% of my console playings are on Nintendo systems. That's kind of why you see me do so many streams of Pokemon and other Nintendo IP stuff. At least tying into Nintendo IP in some shape or form. God, why do they not give me Watt at this point? Like, I could really use her for these, especially with a lack of Spike Shield. I do own a PS3? Or no, I think it's a PS2. It's an old but not too old PlayStation console. I'm kind of blinking out on which one it is, unfortunately. Because, like, I got the Sly Cooper HD collection, which I played Sly 1. I mean to play for Sly 2, but never got around to finishing it. And stuff like that. Don't let me forget, I'm going to give you, at the bare minimum, a synopsis of Golden Sun before the stream ends. It takes cues from things like Final Fantasy and simplifies them a bit. But it also has a class building system that I find fairly unique in the form of gyms. Like, it's a combination of your typical fantasy RPG, but it takes Pokemon collection aspects as well. And I actually find it pretty dynamic for within battles itself, because you collect these little creatures called gyms. They kind of like give a Pokemon-esque vibe with just how cute they are. It's kind of weird because they are also like not. They feel natural despite not resembling animals in the slightest. Yeah. And as you get the gyms, you equip them to your depths, and it affects what's equivalent in their world, the magic equivalent of their world's energy. And that's only half true. The gyms have multiple effects. Like, they're tied to both your spells and your summons, because for one, if you equip them, they change your class. They give you stats boosts and change your class if you equip enough of them of certain elemental combinations. But you can also use them as skills and abilities in battle. This puts them from like a set state to a standby state, and if there's enough of them on standby state, you can pull off the game's summons. So you're kind of juggling between whether you want to have stats in certain classes or being able to unleash these super powerful summons in the mix. And that's just the battle mechanics. Outside of battle, that's what I was kind of trying to get into before. They have you have a navigation element that's kind of unique for an RPG. Of course you do the frickin' invisible thing. Now, of course I don't have enough FP to take care of you. Well, I mean, had to burn these maple syrups eventually. But yeah, like, your synergies are your spells you use in battle, but unlike a lot of RPGs, they also have ties to outside of battles. Where, like, you can, like, use your ice spells to attack fire enemies or rain and that. But you can also use your ice spells outside of battles to freeze puzzles, and that'll allow you to create ice pillars to solve various obstacles, just as an example. There's a lot of things like that where, like, your skills and abilities have secondary uses outside of battles, and the game does a good job with creating puzzle elements to use in the process. It's kind of like a Legend... kind of gives off a bit of a Legend of Zelda vibe with the types of puzzles that you solve. Nothing quite as in-depth as Legend of Zelda, but for something... for pretty much a side feature of an RPG system, it's really in-depth and engaging. The downside is, like, it has, like... honestly, if I'm being honest and critical, even back when it was on GBA, there's some things about it that other RPGs were already doing better, and things that we kind of expect out of RPGs these days become only more apparent over time. Like, there's no fast travel, unfortunately, even though that's kind of like a standard for RPGs these days. And oh, hey, we finally got a new party member. So yeah, plot times with Black Pit. The party members that we, for our vanilla adventures, are for some reason stuffed in these chests, and you have to go through all of Classic in order to unlock them. What? They also normally give you a badge when they join your party. Here we go. I guess we'll get used out ice power eventually. Yeah, it's definitely worth... So again, Golden Sun, definitely worth doing a Google of. It's just unfortunate because, like, currently the only way you can really get it is on the Wii U Virtual Console, and Nintendo's made it pretty clear that they're not supporting that thing much longer, so, like... And as much as I love the game, it's kind of hard to recommend because, like... what I love about... there's very specific things I love about the game, to the point where, like, it's very possible for people with a more general love for RPGs to go into it, see some of the more generic aspects of it, and completely even give up on the game before they really get into the class system and the things that really make the series special. Alright, I feel like I've already kind of, like, been dragging that topic down. So that's all I'll get into Golden Sun for now, unless there's very specific questions tying to it. I know that's a little bit all over of an explanation, but kind of on the spot, fighting for my life as these random enemies are just beating the snot out of me as I'm trying to talk about all this. So sorry about that. Now I'm on a roll. I'll go another 10 floors and quote-unquote save before ending things off. Gulpits, okay. Let me see if I can get a badge set up that will help me out here. I guess I don't need Pretty Lucky and Lucky Day. Hypothetically, I'll need this badge if I'm careful. Happy Heart, like, I don't need it now, but the way I've been taking damage kind of would indicate otherwise. Last Stand could be useful for a pinch. Mega Jump. Take this off unless I have absolutely nothing else to do with the FP. And just keep that on for the first sake. Well, I'm tempted to actually add... Well, I can make use out of Dizzy Attack. I think we're... With the chapter, I think the enemies are going to be themed around here. I don't think we'll get too much use out of Ice Power. No, just for safety's sake, I guess I'll throw this badge back on. And while it's not upgraded, so I think this might be a good time. Oh! This is the Ice chapter, so... Might get some use out of Cooper and his fire shell, assuming you don't burn FP fast enough. Not necessarily on this floor, but we'll make do. Hey, they're easy enemies to Dizzy. I'll take what I can get. So, let's get some FP back in the system and go from there. And, like, I should have played more Final Fantasy when I was younger, because, like, it's a series that, like, I never had anything, I never had qualms with, but I never actually got into. But I know I have friends that are really into the series, like, and everything I've seen about the games are good. It's just, like, this time and age, like, it's kind of hard to get, ironically, with all the RPGs I've been playing, it's been hard for me to get into new RPGs just because of how much of a time investment they can be. Like, I played Persona 4, but I've never played Persona 5. Part of that is time, part of it is, like... 4 has a very special place in my heart, and I just don't... At first I was concerned that 5 would just... Like, nothing could replace 4 in my heart, even though everyone says that 5 is better than 4. But I also saw, like, the first 20 of the game, and that opening cutscene was just way too tense for me. I have, like, this weird thing with drama where even if it's done well, if something's too dramatic, it can turn me off completely. It's just like, in my head, it's like there's enough drama in the world. There's enough I've been going through that I don't need... I specifically just don't get the appeal of drama in fiction. It just does not appeal to me personally. It's kind of like, I have a similar vibe of horror games. I'm not sure how easily scared I actually get, but the concept of... I don't see the appeal of getting afraid, if I'm making any sense. Like, I can appreciate a good story and the drama that comes with it if I'm eased into it, but it kind of gets... But I can get turned off from a story just from the drama just as easily. Alright, I should really swap partners and make use of the super cool... Nah, actually that's not quite a good idea because I don't have quick change. Oh, how badly I miss quick change. Can I dizzy them again? This is vanilla Paper Mario, so I think the game might actually let me do that. Oh yeah, I completely forgot. I was gonna say, like, there was only like one Final Fantasy game that I played, and it was like Final Fantasy... One of the ones that had a remake for the DS. 4, I think? Like, it had a nice class. It's one of those ones that had the job change system. I think it was like the remake of 4. And it's like, I was enjoying my time with it, but unfortunately, like, it was part of the Great College Catastrophe, where I brought my Nintendo DS to a Smash Bros. Tournament and lost a whole bunch of my DS games. Like, after that tournament, a bunch of them just disappeared, and I never was able to find them again, and unfortunately, the DS was part... That Final Fantasy game was part of that mess. You know, Cooper, can you target the rock? You can. So, you know what? I have an idea. We're gonna refresh Cooper's gonna attack the rock, and hopefully I won't take more than 5 HP worth of damage because the rock is out of the picture. I'm gonna naturally use my brain when fighting these things for once, instead of just trying to brute force them dead as quickly as possible. Okay, just... Actually, that could have been scary because I don't remember if the... like, paralyzes you, or if I'm thinking of a hard mode mod. Alright, wait. Do I want to sneak in another refresh? Probably pushing my luck, but kind of want to get the FP and HP. Even my HP is getting a little low. Get those up while I can, and I can just build up my star power when it's too dangerous to do otherwise. I mean, if I keep having luck like this, what do I have to fear? Alright. What floor are we at? And we have like 20... we're doing pretty good. Probably should... My gut's telling me I should go for those maple syrups eventually, but I'm not really feeling it currently. Oh, excuse me. And also, I miss having Peekaboo. Let me see if Bo is enough to take these out after the first strike, and we'll go from there. Thank you. I was worried that this wasn't good fall. So, 6... Well, my jump did 3. I'm gonna just assume 6 HP worth of damage is enough. It is not. Oh, these are the bloodsuckers. That's unfortunate. I mean, I do have Fan Smack, so I think I'm going to actually take advantage of it. Because there's no way you have more than 10 HP of damage. Two, 3... Good. Little roughed around the edges. Do I FP heal? Not as many maple syrups as I thought. I'll wait for my FP to get a tiny bit lower. Hopefully that won't happen in the middle of a battle. Are you guys weak to fire? Because I'm waiting for you to use Fire Shell. You know what? I'm going to just use Fire Shell now. Just in case. Because let's get Fire Shell out here. This might be... Weakness or not, this might be as good of an opportunity as any to use the move. Oh, I kind of wish I had something that did AoE damage. Like, literally anything that didn't take 2-star power. Because, like... At least I can take out the goat, but still be taking a lot of damage from the Clubbas, but... The rocks hurt, so I can at least get that out of the way. Okay, maybe the Clubbas don't hurt. Maybe I just need to get good. Let's get up to full HP, Power Shell, and we basically win. Like, I could just try to block those attacks again, but I'm pretty sure they do like a strong single attack as well, and even if they don't, I'd rather not push my luck twice, because I'll admit, it probably was luck as just much as skill that allowed me to block all those, because that is the first time I went for that attack in a few months, so I feel like I shouldn't have gotten that unscathed from it. Fire enemy. Do I still have the fire badge on? Well, if I'm gonna jump on them, then I probably won't need to make a smash anyways. These guys are usually pretty finicky to try to get with a first strike, as I first strike it first time. Oh, no, that's... I am gonna just... I don't care if I'm wasting the FP, I am not dealing with that. You all can just get out of the picture. Well, so much for using that ice power. Yeah, there's that good chunk of damage that I was expecting to get out of them. And Body Slam just barely finishes him off. You know what though? Let me get my FP back while I can. Yeah. I'll just Body Slam to save the FP and I can finish him off next turn. Or I could just be a dupe. Or I could just be a dumb and screw that timing off completely. Alright. How are we dealing with time? Or location? 75. Yeah, I think, like, floor 80 would be a good place to stop off anyways, because things are going to start really getting tense. Do I take a chance on them having ice enemies? Like, there was ice If there's ice enemies, this would be worth it, but if not... I feel like I'm going to use my... Yeah, that was a waste of time. Maybe I could just dizzy everyone. That would be convenient. Oh, this is a pretty easy dizzy. Do I jump? Do I hammer? Guess hammer for the easy of stylish. Completely forgot I had Happy Heart on. Let's see. Probably finish you off. That. That's right. These guys split if I don't attack them with an AoE attack. Screw it. I have the Happy Heart. I'll take one attack instead of wasting the FP. Besides, you should be easy to finish off now. Look at that massive damage. And for the stylish. Right, so I mean I got ice power, so this should finish him off. I think it's more of a matter, will Cooper finish off the other one? Honestly, okay, good. I was gonna say, my gut's telling me that that was a bad idea, but I guess it wasn't that bad of an idea, because it didn't completely end up in my face. Alright. Got 3 more floors to go. Come on, you are gonna get first strike whether you're like it or not. Oh, I should have not swapped away from bow. Well, at least I have that. And since I can't do anything else, I guess you can... Actually, I'm gonna swap to someone who doesn't get hurt by the fire dudes. We'll just finish them off next turn. Because if I time my blocks right, I can avoid taking damage, but that happens if I don't. So let's refresh and restore ourselves. Finish off the fire bubble, and maybe I'll actually get the timing right next time. God, we're not even at the hard enemies yet. Well, I'm at least taking one less damage than I could from that. Yeah, just finish him off. Kind of regret my decision of swapping to Cooper. But I'm doing what I can. I have items if I desperately need them. A good selection of items, I might add. I'm just really hoping that I can save them for, like, the literal end. Alright. Surely I'll get use out of bow this time. Well, I can. Do I want to refresh now, or... You know, we haven't tried Lullaby in a bit, and if I do put them to sleep, that could save me some precious health and make its value back from refresh. And I can work with this. Let's save the FP and go for this. Because Fan Smack is a bit overkill, but if it wasn't for the fact that... Or I could just dodge like a pro, that works too. Let me get a refresh in, get some health back, and we'll work on getting that star gauge back in the rest of the fight. If I actually pay attention to when my stylishes are, shouldn't be too bad. Let's see, 6-6. If I power jump, that could be enough to finish him off. Meanwhile, it's 5, yeah. Well, if he transforms, then I don't get hurt at all. Let's just go for that. If he does attack me, then he attacks me. But if he doesn't, well, then I'll feel less like a fool. See, yeah, now I can just finish him off next turn. Alright. Get a little stylish off on you. And finish you off. And we'll be doing pretty cozy. Let me go for both first, because I think she'll just barely finish him off, and then I can get to the second style. Oh, that's right. 6. Well, star power is coming back fairly quickly, so I think we'll be fine. Only 2 floors left, and then we'll be 8/10 of the way through. Well, that's kind of mean game. Probably dumb to use Bombette at this point, but I mean, if I can get a easy high power first strike off, it's worth it. I mean, I could power bomb. I don't like those odds. Let's... They transform to Cooper, then I could just knock them out of the picture altogether. Bomb this 3, which would bring it down to a level that I can finish. Yeah. I can refresh. And I have maple syrup that I've been meaning to burn. Let's just get that. Also, this is a very good star power grind. So, you're out of the picture. Naturally, this bomb end them immediately. I feel like I have the time to... I feel like I have the resources to find out. Perfect. Shoot, I missed up the stylish. It's fine. Well, I know what to do if the other one transforms. So I got that going for me. That said, do I want to though? Do I really want to burn an FP when he's so close to getting defeated normally? I would presume not. But I'm sure that will save me on a future run somewhere to remember that sort of information. Alright. Oh yeah, that's it. The floor 8. I was just thinking of whether I needed to get in the story time or not, but... Oh, I think we're gonna get... Oh yeah, I'm gonna get sushi too. Finally, woohoo! Thank you for saving me. My bad. Where are my manners? I still didn't introduce myself. I'm Sushi and you are? I see. In that case, I'm in. I really hope we can finally escape this place once and for all. I mean, that is definitely a nice gift to get. And let's see how much I can upgrade Sushi, because definitely can get to have her. I mean, Mega Shock is pretty good too, not gonna lie, but let's start with getting Sushi upgraded, because Water Block could be useful. But Tidal Wave is pretty good in the right situation. Do I want to upgrade? Probably would definitely use SWAT more if I actually had her upgrade. Let me just double check how much this is. Only 800 to upgrade to Ultra. I'm in. This is bank money that I'm not using for anything else anyways. Yeah, let's get WAT upgraded too. I'm a little on the fence if I want to upgrade her all the way to Ultra. I know it can only help me. And you know what? The stats I'm at, why not? Rest in peace, bank money and any items I could get for saving it all up. Speaking of which, I would buy a stone cap, but I kinda think that I still have a stone cap and a stopwatch from before that I haven't touched yet. I think I can go at least one more set of floors without worrying about that. Anyways, I'm gonna pause it here because it actually times you. Well, first I'm going to do this save. Now I'll pause. And hopefully I remember not to overwrite the save state. And when we come back, like I really want to go play some more dungeon. Saturday, but we're so close to the end of this, I might just finish this off on Saturday's stream, just so I don't have to worry about accidentally overwriting anything. But we will come back to this eventually. Come back to this soon. I can say that much. So we'll get to see what's in the end of Classic Pit, hopefully. Like, we've been doing pretty... I was unsure about this from at first, but we've been doing pretty smoothly for how deeply we've gotten. And I haven't even touched the live stream or half of the items that we've gotten. So I think we're good to go. So yeah. Saturday evening, there's definitely going to be another stream. And I'm trying to get in the habit of doing these sorts of streams on Wednesdays as well. A lot of it's going to depend on how I feel after work, though. And typically my stream time's around 7 p.m. Eastern. All good stuff to know. And I'm going to end things off before something terrible happens. Take care.